Good morning, Choppers. The Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system.
It was the voice of a courageous explorer, a man dedicated to the pursuit of man's knowledge and the expansion of his horizons.
Good morning. Here is Nathan Ivey.
NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close fists, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop watching, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, nope, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the tent plates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivey, so superlative like a bag of Drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Broadcasting live from Cincinnati, Ohio, here's the king of superlative flows, Nathan Ivey.
Back from my hiatus, politicking on the latest. Good morning, Choppers. Let's chop it up. TGIF, it's a Friday, which means numerous things. Perhaps you got the weekend off. Perhaps you got some plans for tonight. At the very least, I need your Gilligan of the Week nominations. I've got several people in mind. Good morning to you. Today is Friday, December 2nd, 2016. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, the last honest place in Cincinnati. And see, one of the reasons why I can be completely honest with you on all topics is because we're independent now, bro. We independent. You didn't hear? We independent. We can name the names, expose the games, point out the lames as they happen into our radar screen. Good morning to you. Here's my number if you want to give me a call. 513-873-7134. Again, 513-873-7134. And over the years, I've become quite a tea drinker. Give me a little pep in the morning. In terms of a vocal performer, you want to make sure that your pipes are ready to go. I'm not sure what the hell I'm drinking this morning, though. I had to tell the wife, is this coffee? What is this? You put coffee in tea bags now? What is this? Some new tea called breakfast in a bag or something. And it tastes god awful. It does. I tried to break it with some honey, but I need more. But good morning to you. That's my issues. Good morning to you. Welcome back. How are you? Currently 7:12 a.m. in the Queen City and numerous things to discuss. I'm not really looking forward to talking about Donald Trump today. I'm just a little trumped out, quite honestly. But I'm going to because I need to. And I want to talk about Donald Trump in a way that's a little bit different. It's so interesting how the media is falling all over this guy. If you don't know, if you live in Cincinnati, you live in a world and you give a damn about what happens in the United States. Donald Trump was in Cincinnati, Ohio last night. Did you go downtown? I was driving around downtown, and that traffic was fierce. It was fierce early, too. I know at least one of my Facebook friends, she and her husband were protesting downtown. And I'm not sure what kind of success they had, but whoo. And you talk about Gilligan's. Woo! I got a bridge to sell them folks, man. Of course, I've got audio of everything that's happened over the last 24 hours and for that matter, for the last week for your listening pleasure this morning. And we must discuss it. What I find interesting is no one in the media outside of maybe a few people on MSNBC are asking this question about Donald Trump. Why in the hell is he having a campaign rally and the election is over? It's over. And I'm reading separate reports over the last 24, ever since last night. So I say the last 10, 12 hours or so. I'm watching cable news this morning. I can't stand Morning Joe. You watch Morning Joe? I can't stand that. Because number one, they don't have enough minority representation on there. And I just don't mean in terms of color. I'm in terms of their viewpoint. And I know it's called Morning Joe, but Joe dominates the entire thing. And I watched their opening just a little bit this morning because typically I'm getting ready for the show. And there's no mention of the hypocrisy of Donald Trump. There's no mention. So let me do it for you this morning. 513-873-7134. We must discuss. How are you, choppers? We must discuss it. So Donald Trump comes to Cincinnati for his thank you tour. And it was just like I thought. It was more of a gloating tour. So the man's gloating. He's talking about how he enjoyed beating Hillary and the crowd is nuts. These people need to be tested. They need to be tested. I'm worried about them. I'm hoping these are not Cincinnatians, although something tells me that they really are. But there were people in the crowd screaming, lock her up. Pardon me. Lock her up. Lock her up. Lock her up. Who? Hillary Clinton for what? Lock her up. This is amazing to me. Like Donald Trump just settled a lawsuit surrounding Trump University because it looks like he was fraudulently providing some kind of institution of higher learning. And it seems like it was a scam, quite honestly. And Donald Trump, as we speak right now, President-elect Donald Trump has multiple lawsuits. He went to court to try to get the lawsuits blocked while he was the president. The judge says, nah, hell to the nah. But yet his crowd says lock up Hillary Clinton. Unbelievable, folks. We are living in the last days of common sense. I've been telling you for years. It is true. We're here. We're here now. The last days of common sense. That is amazing. And the media is making such a big deal about this Carrier deal because Carrier is going to keep some jobs in America, even though they're going to still ship out about 800 jobs. And I don't know, maybe I'm the only one who remembers this, but during the campaign, Donald Trump went hard at these Benedict Arnold companies that want to take American jobs and take their services and their goods and services and produce them elsewhere because it's cheaper, because they don't want to pay what American workers deserve to get paid. And they don't want to have to deal with all these environmental regulations, right? We need to deregulate it. No. Part of the reason that many of you today are on your way to work, right? Part of the reason, the main reason why when you go to work, you're in a safe space is because of those governmental regulations. The government has forced certain companies over the years to make sure they maintain a safe and positive workplace. That's their role. But you have these idiots who work in these places running around talking about, yeah, deregulate. Never start a business in their life talking about deregulate for business. Ridiculous. And the one thing people are missing about Donald Trump is that he was talking about Carrier throughout the campaign. I've got the audio for you. You hear it for yourself. And on, campaign stop after campaign stop, appearance after appearance, Donald Trump said that he was not going to play nice with these Benedict Arnold companies like Carrier. That he was going to make them pay a 35% tax, right? And then he goes over to Carrier and completely folds in. He gives them $7 million in tax breaks, even though he himself has said during the campaign, he said this many times, that politicians were dumb. This is Donald Trump said this, that they were dumb for giving those kind of incentives for corporations, giving them tax breaks. This is what he ran on. But now that he's president-elect, this is what he's doing. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. We must discuss. I need your Gilligan of the Week nominations, and I got one woman in mind. And she's got the first name that some people may say traditionally is of a male. And I'm talking about Tomi Lahren. I got a chance to circle back and watch more of that Trevor Noah. I don't even think you would call it a debate. I call it a spanking. And it was quite amazing. Quite amazing. And then I read that she was supposed to do an appearance on The Breakfast Club, but then she canceled it. It's like, no, one loss is enough. One loss is enough. But enough of me, more of you. We'll get to the choppers in a second. But first, let's go to the phones. Who's on the line? Good morning, caller. How are you?
Hey, Nathan. It's Tracy. How are you?
Tracy, good morning. How are you, Tracy?
I'm exhausted. You know what? Somehow Donald Trump just suckers me in. I guess because I tell myself that it's pure entertainment, but after all of that, you're just exhausted with his lies and BS. But my Gilligan for the week has to be the Secret Service based on the bottleneck that they created last night. I don't understand why you would even do that in the middle of rush hour traffic, but, that's what they do. We might need to double check the figures because I heard that tax break for carrier was actually $65 million, and I read that a couple of times last night. And also, I'm just quite disturbed still by this idiot that slammed that 7-year-old's face into the locker or the wall or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever it was, locker, wall, floor.
And I was reading on Facebook that he's facing 85 years, and somebody had the nerve to say the justice system is just too much. I mean, 85 years, I'm like, why is that too much for beating down a 7-year-old kid who was pretty much defenseless? And lastly, did you hear about the woman who called Michelle Obama a monkey face and that she spoke Ebonics? Yeah, I'm so glad she's waking up to nothing this morning, probably losing part of her salary at least. I hope the University of Colorado gets on board behind the hospital.
Why do people think this is funny? She's a doctor, isn't she? Isn't she a doctor?
Yeah, I don't know why they think it's funny, or I don't even know why they think they're invincible, that they can't stand to lose their job just like the common person. I mean, who sacrifices a $363,000 career, between the hospital and the university is totally beyond me. But, she's waking up with one of those jobs under her belt now. I mean, it's just beyond my comprehension.
And you know what, Tracy? I'm glad you brought that up. She should lose her job because if she'll say that about and feels that about the first lady, how does she feel about black people that might be under her care?
Exactly.
What is she doing to them?
You're a public figure and you have the audacity to even just speak on it. I mean, you're not even smart enough to create some false Facebook page. I mean, people who do that, they hide behind stuff like that. But there's a new level of boldness in America nowadays. That's all I can say.
It sure is.
But it can cost you your job. So be advised.
Yeah, Dr. Michelle Herron is her name. She's a white pediatric anesthesiologist. I think that's the word.
Oh, my God. And she's on your kids and doing anesthesia on your kids. That's pretty scary to me.
Yeah.
That's scary.
From what I understand, she was actually responding from somebody on Facebook who referred to Michelle Obama as eloquent. And so she got all upset and said, that doesn't seem to be speaking too eloquent to me. Monkey face and poor Ebonic English. What?
Well, that cost you half of your salary, and the other half, I'm sure, is soon to follow. So we'll see how she'll be speaking after that.
All right. Well, Tracy, thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
You have a good weekend.
Absolutely. That's Tracy checking in. The line is now available, 513-873-7134. Dr. Michelle Herron. Again, she is a pediatric anesthesiologist at the Denver Health Medical Center. And I believe she's also a faculty member at a University of College School of Medicine. And apparently somebody made a Facebook post and she had the comment. And her comment was, quote, doesn't seem to be speaking too eloquent here. Thank God we can't hear her. Monkey face and poor Ebonic English. There, I feel better. And I'm still not racist, just calling it like it is. Yeah, you're not racist for calling this black woman a monkey at all. None racist about that at all. Why would people even think that? Yeah, I agree with Tracy. She most certainly needs to get touched up. Gilligan's out here. Too many Gilligans and not enough time. Matt, let's double it up. Actually, she needs to
up, okay? Just leave it at that.
And leave it like that. And leave it like that. The animus that people feel and have about the first family is just amazing to me. But enough of me, more of you.
Oh! Get to the chopper!
Get to the choppers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Back up here. I want to make sure okay. I see Tonika's first inside the chop shop. How you doing, Tonika? Switching it up. She got the body shop today. I've got no complaints. Cerinthia writes, good morning, choppers. How you doing, Cerinthia? Followed by Keisha. 1, 2, and 3. Tonika, Cerinthia, Keisha. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Keisha writes, happy Friday. Absolutely. Jebba writes, morning. Curtis writes, happy Friday, beautiful kings and queens. Tracy says, hey, y'all, but she just called in. That was Tracy. Jill writes, good morning, y'all. TGIF, absolutely. Pat writes, good morning, y'all. Cincy Tigers writes, morning, y'all. Happy Friday. Absolutely. What's up, William? Writes, good morning. What's up, Brenda? What's up, CJ? How you doing, Daryl? Good morning, Jane. What's up, Ashley? Deanna? Rhonda, how you doing? Christelle, how you doing? Rico writes, thank God for another one. Morning, Chopper. Stay safe in this world of hate. Yeah, whatever your plan was previous to Trump being the president or president-elect, follow your plan. That's it. Cherish writes a good morning. Angela writes a good morning and happy Friday. Same to you, Angela. What's up, Roosevelt? Writes top of the morning, fam. Same to you. Dale writes, Tommy Loren won Gilligan of the Week award, hands down. Yeah, we must listen to it again if we can get the time. I got some Trump audio we must discuss. And then I got some audio of some Democrats and Republicans arguing over it. It's some great stuff. You know I love the drama. And we'll ascertain who has the better argument. Rhonda writes, Secretary of Defense name is Mad Dog. We got a goon to represent the country. She's right about that. That's funny, Ron. I was thinking the same thing this morning. I'm like, Mad Dog? Is that necessarily a good nickname for the Secretary of Defense? Craig writes, what's up, Nate and the Choppers? Friday, turn up, Trump down. Gilligan. Well, that's Gilligan-elect to you. That's our president now. There'll be no disrespecting him. And, oh, my God. I mean, this is such a letdown. We go out from 8 years of having a president with poise and dignity and humility. And now we got a man who is a narcissist. Even if you're a Trump supporter, you got to give me that. Trump is caught up with himself. He is caught up with himself. He is in love with himself. He loves when the crowd is roaring his name, the adulation, the praise. He loves all of that. That becomes a weakness. That is a weakness. It really is, in my opinion. Carolyn writes, good morning, Chop Shop. Mike writes, good morning. Fame Up writes, fame is here to front, but y'all love it, though. Top of the morning, fam. Okay, I like it. Nothing wrong with it. Fame Up writes, Trump was fronting and stunting. Yes, he was. Stunting like, I guess, his daddy. Tiffany writes, good morning. Good morning, Junior. Writes, good morning, family. Hashtag salute. Robin writes, good morning. Kashana writes, good morning. Fame Up writes, Gilligan of the Week is Ronald Gayser, the white man who killed former NFL player Joe McKnight in New Orleans. This was a racially charged killing, was it? I'm aware of it, but I haven't really read into it. Tell me more, Fame Up. Is that right? Very interesting. We are living in very interesting times, folks. Jared writes, good morning, hashtag Team NI. Speaking of the team, I've been teasing all week, and I'm set to, I guess, unveil is a way of putting it, the campaign to raise revenue, to promote the show, to take it to the next level. I've already posted a link that if you get a chance to today, check it out. I'm a man of my word. As I said I would, I posted it first inside of the Facebook page, Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show. I'll be using something called Patreon. I'll talk more about it on the other side. It's kind of like Kickstarter. It's kind of like GoFundMe, only it's different. And I like those differences. And I want to tell you all about it. We'll get to that, your phone calls as well, and much more. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. We'll be right back.
A little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Unexpected reactions to smart financial decisions brought to you by feedthepig.org.
Well, I finally did it. I opened a 401k.
So you're giving up? Just like that?
Giving up on what?
On getting an inheritance from a distant relative.
Don't you think if there were a billionaire in the family, we'd know about it by now?
Listen to me. We are one phone call away from riding horses on our own private polo grounds. One call from christening yachts, having a butler, using summer as a verb.
How do you figure?
Look, everyone's got a rich uncle somewhere. It's statistics. So the best thing you can do is just prepare for the inevitable.
Right, which is why I thought maybe it would be smart to take control of my finances. You know, start using a budget, get out of debt, set some retirement goals.
Budgets? Debt? You watch your mouth. Retirement shouldn't be a goal for us. It should be a way of life.
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Now back to the show.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. 7:30 a.m. in the Queen City. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system. Today is Friday, December 2nd, 2016. I need your Gilligan of the Week nominations already. We've got several, and I'll share with you as well. And you can give me a call, or you can enter the chat room and text it to me, and I shall read it. I shall read it. A memo to me to Trump supporters in the city of Cincinnati. Okay, get real close to your receiver, your speaker. I'll wait. A little closer. Closer. I want you to get real close. I want you to make sure you understand what I'm saying. Memo from Nathan Ivey to local Trump supporters. You didn't win a damn thing. You did not win anything. Trump won. His family won. The various people who are getting positions in the Trump administration, its cabinet, and those family members and friends, they all won. You haven't won a damn thing. I'm watching the video feed last night like everyone else did who cares about these kind of things of Trump in Cincinnati. And they were just, oh, my God, it's the truth. They are in love. He's the Messiah. Oh, every word he said. They loved the man. And they started chanting, lock her up, lock her up, lock her up, right? Build a wall, build a wall. I'm thinking, okay. But I'm here to tell you folks that you haven't won a damn thing. All you folks that voted for Trump if you didn't get a cabinet position, what have you won? What exactly did you win? It's like they feel like they got one over on the Democrats. That's one very naive, silly ass way of looking at it. But what exactly have you won? I mean, if you're just a hardworking, blue collar individual, what did you win? You didn't make history because we've had a lot of white presidents. You didn't make any history. Now, like I told you, we've got the first clown president in chief, executive in chief. I mean, that makes you happy. You know, hey, strike up the band. OK, let's have a parade. But this is just gaudy. Could you imagine if Barack Obama would have had a thank you tour and said some of the things that Donald Trump is saying? Last night, Donald Trump was making fun of a protester. So get her out of here. She got to go home to her mommy, he said. This is the president-elect of the United States. Quite interesting. Quite interesting, to say the least. So all these Republicans are running around. You got your T-shirt. You got your hat. You haven't won anything. Nothing. Zero. So stop acting like you have. You won nothing at all. Here's my number again, 513-873-7134. Oh, man. Anybody watch Love and Hip Hop or any of those ratchet shows? Do you know who Jocelyn Hernandez is? You ever heard of Stevie J? Yeah, that girl. I'm looking at an image of her. I didn't know she was pregnated. I had no idea. Fellas, is a woman who's pregnant and she's not with your child, is that sexy? I guess there's some men who like everything. I'm not saying I dislike it. Trying to remember, the wifey was pregnant just a couple years ago. Son's almost 2. It's interesting living with a pregnant woman. Very interesting. But I mean, oh my gosh, she's flaunting her baby bump. Do you really have to, Jocelyn? I mean, I like to remember you the way I see you on the images that I Google sometime. That's how I want to remember you. Let's say that. The Puerto Rican princess. And she's set to deliver her baby. She's all on Instagram. I'm not saying a woman should be shameful in any way whatsoever. I'm just saying that it's different when it's not your child. You know what I'm saying? It's different. I'm just being honest with you. Hopefully you can take it. Let's go back to the phones here. Good morning, caller. How are you? Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan Ivey and the good people of Cincinnati.
My good friend John from Princeton, New Jersey. How you doing, sir?
You know, Nathan, you should have took a mic down to that stadium and asked some of those people out there, why did you support Donald Trump? Some of the answers you would have got would have probably been some archival footage there if you would have went there. Hopefully they wouldn't have locked you up.
Been there, done that, man. I've heard the answers already. I know exactly what they're going to say. Trust me.
But still, that's archival footage and interesting comments that you would have got from some of those people out there. I saw some of the clips last night, and I'm like, wow. Who was that? Was that you or somebody in Cincinnati talked about, can the stadium be packed out? Well, Trump did pack it out last night. He packed that place out. What's this? How many more of these Sacklers tours that he's going to make?
I'm not sure, man. Your phone sounds terrible, John.
How's that?
I'm not sure it's any better at all, actually.
I switched ears.
Okay, you switched ears, huh?
Well, where I'm sitting at.
Man, you switched ears.
I think it's the signal where I'm at. It's just
could be. I know you're a world traveler, man. Well, you see what people like you then went and did, man. Now we got this idiot in the White House.
Well, hey, it shows the status of where this country has always been. I mean, look at the Congress and the Senate. They're a complete joke, too. But once again, I've always said, people, let Trump speak. Let him talk. The more he talks, he basically talks about this factless system, the Republicans and Democrats. And remember, he has no alliance to both parties. So
well, actually, he does have an alliance to the Republican Party. I keep hearing you say that, John, but he ran as a Republican. He ran through the Republican primary. Republicans voted for him. OK, if you look at the people he's appointing into his position, into his administration, all of them have been Republicans. So he is beholden to the Republican Party. You keep trying to make him out he's like some great populist, independent. No, he's a Republican.
That's just a title. Republican Democrats is a title. None of them really follow the whole genre to their party. They do what they want to do until they get caught with their hands in the cookie jar or when they get caught with their pants down.
Well, the Republicans of 2016 are not the same Republicans of, let's say, to some degree, of the 1960s. But, I mean, if I say Republican, then you can assume that there are certain things that they stand for and they don't stand for. Same thing with the Democrats.
Well, they both stand for one thing. They're all in bed with each other. They wine and dine each other. Yeah, when the TV lights come on, they yell, they scream, they spit. But when the TV lights go on, they whine, they dine, they go out, and they cheat on their wives. They're under the same cloak and dagger, which is to keep the average man and woman down in this country. And they line their pockets and do the dirty deeds around the world, as I indicate, until they get caught. Let's move on. What is Barack Obama thinking about? I don't know if you saw that press conference he did last night. Now he wants to initiate putting women in the armed forces from 16 to, I think, 20-something.
Well, no, he wants women. He says that women should be allowed to sign up for selective services, just like men. I think it's a good idea. I support it.
Well, that's nothing, and that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear your comments behind that, but that's nothing new because I pointed out to people during the summer, in the middle of the night, here we go with this factless Congress and the Senate, they did vote in the middle of the night during the summer to initiate women from 18 to 20-something into the armed forces.
They did. And then the Republicans took it off the table. They said no.
They did vote for it, and it passed. But the problem is the draft is not officially kicked in. So Barack Obama is just chiming in on something that he knew went down during the summertime. So what are they thinking about? What do they think is going to happen someplace down the line?
Well, let's move beyond that. What's your opinion about women signing up for the draft? Do you believe that women should have to sign up for selective service?
Well, if you look at other countries around the world, Israel, Russia, and some other, China, and some other countries, they have women into the armed forces. The problem is, you don't go into war unless you know it's a reason to go into war. But our country has a history of going into wars because they want to take over other countries or get the resources, blah, 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 blah. We know all about that. Okay, but we get into wars that we should not be getting into. And the problem is, mentally, are women capable, if they get caught behind enemy lines, are they capable of dealing with that stress and strain that they have?
Well, there's
deal
some men who can't deal with the stress and the strain. There's some men, if you get caught behind enemy lines, they're going to break down. I don't think it's any different.
Well, we see now with Bush and that Cheney, started that war, these soldiers came back, post-traumatic stress disorder. You can name a number of things of some of these troops coming back, missing limbs, arms, their heads, some of them are whacked out in the head. You know, we see the effects of war and what it does. Can women tolerate the same thing? I don't know.
I say yes. I mean, you know women are stronger than men. They bear children. They've got estrogen going through their bodies. That's why they live longer than us. So, yeah, I think women can bear the stress of it just like men can. You'll have some women who can deal with it better than other women, just like with men. I don't think there'll be a difference whatsoever.
But, Nathan, I don't know if women, it's not me to say, can women handle what goes on when you're in a war, field and you got to shoot and you got to kill, the stress and the strain, the mental.
Yes.
We see the results of what these males come back and what they go through. Can women deal with that?
Yes. I'm telling you, they bear children. They have estrogen going through their veins. They'll be fine. There are some men who can't cut it, you know, in a battle situation like that, a wartime situation. So what's the difference?
Well, the only problem, and the other issue I have with that is, in every war, you know, the Congress and the Senate votes on this crap, but do they send their kids off? No, they don't send their kids off. Every now and then, maybe one or two, but who fights the wars? The poor and the middle class. That's who fights the wars. They figure out a way of preventing their kids from going off. Oh, he has a foot problem. Oh, he has a toenail. He can't go. Oh, his eyes are not 50-50. They always figure out a way to keep their kids from going off to war. And that's where I have an issue. If it's going to be for one, it should be for all. If it's not, then hell no. You're not sending my kid off. Nathan, come on. If little Buddha was 18 and that draft was kicked in tonight, would you send little Buddha off there?
I mean, no parent wants their child to go to war.
Thank you very much.
No parent wants that. Hey, John, thanks for the flow, man. I appreciate you, brother. Have a great weekend, man.
Right.
Yep, that's John from Princeton, New Jersey. Cerinthia writes, John, sexism is showing. Tiffany writes, please hang up. He's a sexist idiot. Wow, it's deep, man. The loathing for John. I got love for you, bro. But there's only so much I can do. There's only so much I can do for you, man. Your flow speaks for itself. John brought up something that I really wanted to touch this morning, and that is the fact that, and you tell me, maybe I missed it, but you do know that Donald Trump basically he was a draft dodger, right? I mean, I'm not saying it was very common during the Vietnam War. Nobody wanted to go to the Vietnam meat grinder. But it's so interesting how Donald Trump can call out the patriotism of other people. He even called out John McCain and said he's no war hero because he got caught. But Donald Trump was dodging the draft. He was never asked that I can recall during the entire election process. Not one time. How is that possible? If you go back and search your memory banks and go back to Bill Clinton dodged the draft as well. But he was asked questions about it. He had to explain himself. He had to explain it. John Kerry actually went to war and he had to explain it. He got swift-boated and lost. How is it that a draft-dodging man who, to this point, who wouldn't even release his tax records, and to this point, it looks like the only sacrifices he's ever made was to enrich his own pockets. How is he now like the president? How is that possible? How is it during the process of becoming president, the Republican primary? Well, see, Republicans don't care. Republicans don't care. All they wanted was a win. For some people, it burnt them to their internal soul that Barack Obama was in the White House. They hated it so much that it didn't matter who the candidate was, flawed or not. As long as he was one of them, as long as he acted like one of them, they were going to ride and die with him. So Donald Trump was a draft dodger. If you doubt what I'm saying, look it up. I don't believe he was ever asked a question about it during the primary, when he was the chosen Republican candidate. Didn't come up in any of the debates. Didn't come up in any of the debates. And even when the man was calling out that Gold Star family, remember that? Captain Khan got killed in Iraq or in the war on terror, and then his mother and father joined up with the Democrats during the DNC to shout down Donald Trump. And Donald Trump was bickering back and forth in the media with them. And yet Donald Trump is arguing with a Gold Star family who's made what some would call the ultimate sacrifice. And this man was dodging the draft. It's amazing to me. We are living in amazing times. Amazing times. But what do you think? 513-873-7134. I want to get your thoughts. That is deep. Not one time. Not one time. And so where else is Donald Trump going to go on his gloat tour? Where else is he going to go? And are the Republicans ever going to call him on his BS? He said clearly during the campaign multiple times, as it related to Carrier, that he was going to slap them with a 35% tax on any of their goods. I believe there were air conditioners or something like that he kept mentioning during the campaign. Okay, when the goods came back to the United States. He said, not on my watch. And then before he even takes the office, he gives them some sweetheart deal. Hell, I could do that. You could do that. Everybody's trying to make sure about to be some great businessman. And it seems like all he did is he walked in there, maybe Mike Pence, who's the governor of Indiana, maybe Mike Pence was doing the dirty work. But it seems like they went to the folks at Carrier and say, listen, we need a political win here. We need to look good. We want to be able to say that we saved some jobs. What will it take? Hell, I can do that. You can do that. It doesn't take a degree in economics or a business degree or any experience whatsoever to walk into a boardroom and say, listen, guys, what do you want? And then give it to him. But yet he's being lauded as if he's a great businessman. He's a great businessman. Is he? Really? Well, we don't know because we never got a chance to see his recent tax returns. We have no idea how great of a businessman he is. We have no idea about his charitable giving. None of that matters because crooked Hillary. But it worked. It worked. I'm here to tell you again that the Republicans are just better at the game of politics than the Democrats. They're just better. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at the results. An overwhelming majority. I'm talking about like a 3-1 majority in terms of governorships. And before you say, what difference does that make? That plays a huge role. A huge role on the inner workings and the politics of the particular states, but also during the presidential election years. Plays a huge role. The majority of state legislators swing toward the Republicans. The Republicans are just better at the game of politics than the Democrats. They're just better. Just wants to call here. Call me back, 513-873-7134. I will definitely put you straight on. Currently 7:47 a.m. in the Queen City. That's just deep. But here I go again. They're talking about Donald Trump, but it is what it is. It is what it is. That is amazing. How do you feel about your president now? And I'm trying to make connections. Okay, I would like to talk to some people, some white folks, quite honestly, who have actually voted for Donald Trump. Not to shout them down, but to try to understand where can we find common ground? OK, that's what I'm more important. That's what's more important to me. I don't want to shout you down, but if it goes there, it goes there. I just want to try to glean some kind of idea as to what the motivation was. And I've talked to a couple of friends of mine who are white and who voted for Donald Trump. Yes, friends of mine, acquaintances. And they're like, Nate, here's what I get every time. Well, it wasn't so much a vote for Trump as it was a vote against Hillary. I get that. I understand it. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning, caller. How are you? Welcome.
Thank you so much. This is B.
What up, B?
How you doing? Hey, you know what? Ever since, I don't know how many updates ago this was, but for some reason I can't find the live broadcast of your show on Spreaker anymore.
Really?
Like, your page shows up, but for some reason I can't get the live feed to come up.
That's disturbing. So what does it do?
Like it shows one show from like October, and every time I try to refresh the page, it just shows that same show just keeps coming up.
So what happened different this morning, B?
Nothing. I just called in the show.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
You call straight in cold. Okay, I get you. Huh, okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for telling me that. I've not run into that. Has anyone else had that issue? I'll try to address it with the folks at Spreaker. What I would recommend is, what kind of phone you rocking with? You got an iPhone or an Android?
iPhone.
You got an iPhone? Okay. Because usually I hear people, well, I don't know. Actually, it goes back and forth. I've heard people having issues with both ways, depending on the kind of phone.
What I'll do is I'll delete the app and then download it again.
Yeah. Try that and tell me what happens, man. But I appreciate you making the attempt, though, B. What's going on, man?
Not much, right? You know, I just kind of heard the tail end of what you were just saying about trying to work together and not have like a different mindset. I was actually thinking the same thing yesterday. I was like, now that Trump is in, like if I was a politician and if I was just a citizen, like, you know, what kind of attitude should I have? And it should be one where, you know, we need to find a way to work together. It should not be like the lame duck approach that the Republicans had for the 8 years Obama was in. Like, okay, our main goal is just to be anti-him. Like, yeah, you know, Trump's in. There's nothing we can do about it. Best thing we can do is just work together to find out how we can best, you know, bring this country up.
And see, that's the kind of thinking. Let me ask you a question, B. Do you lean more for Republicans or Democrats when you vote?
Mostly Democrats.
Mostly Democrats. And see, that's why I say the Republicans are better at politics. The Republicans are willing to take the country to the brink of economic disaster to win. And they did it over and over again with like the debt ceiling and, you know, holding unemployment benefits hostage. They did it over and over again over the last 8 years because they didn't want Barack Obama to have any political cachet. They didn't want the stimulus package to work. They didn't want his ideas to work. And so the Democrats are different. The Democrats are like, oh, well, this will be good for America, so let's go with it. And what that does, though, is sets up and it delivers political cachet, currency for Donald Trump. So, for instance, let's say the first thing Donald Trump comes out with is like an infrastructure package, okay, which is be good for everybody, right? That's great. Americans working on American roads, American infrastructure. And the Democrats play ball with him. So Donald Trump gets a win. Hey, this is the third time in a row he's delivered on campaign promises. Well, if the fourth issue is this mass deportation effort, well, now he's got political cachet with the American public to go forward on it. And that's the problem that's the dilemma for the Democrats. I mean, do they play hardball like the Republicans did with Barack Obama, or do they try to find common ground and work for Donald Trump and on some levels kind of support his administration and make him look good?
Yeah, you bring up a good point.
Yeah. So it's a difficult spot.
You know, they're sacrificing the country for the sake of winning back power.
Yep. But that's what the Republicans did.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. And then once they get in power, like you said, they start getting the Democrats help and cooperativeness. They reap all the benefits. So, I mean, you know, I guess that's just the way it is, unfortunately.
It's going to be, you know, the Democrats are going to have to navigate this. They really are, because, I mean, if you play ball with President Trump and, you know, you try to mend fences with him and find common ground, boom, he's got more political cachet. He's doing what he said. Right. He's successful. Now he can use that success for some things that Democrats don't necessarily support. So it's going to be real interesting to see how this plays out. Again, the Republicans play for keeps. They have the long game in mind. The Democrats can care about the people, and, you know, they're getting caught up with their little intellectual pursuits, as somebody is saying, inside the chop shop. And that's what I've been observing for a long time. Right.
On a different note, kind of similar but different, find a way to take together. Have you seen that documentary on Netflix called The Secret?
The Secret. That's the one about the Catholic Church?
No, it's about the law of attraction, the universal law of attraction.
No, I haven't seen that one, no.
Oh, man, it's worth your time. Like, the first 30 seconds is kind of like, come on, get on with it. What's the point? But once you get into it, man, it's pretty nice. Basically, what it says is basically you attract what you think about.
Huh.
And they said this was filmed before the election. It's 2006, I think. And what they said in there was usually when there's an election, they extrapolated that and kind of made an example out of elections. They're like, usually when there's an election, to keep someone out, all of the focus is on that person, and what ends up happening is that person becomes the winner. I'm like, that's exactly what happened in this election cycle. So I'm like, wow, so basically it's the law of attraction, the universal law of attraction. Whatever you think about, whether it's good or bad, you basically manifest, and it's pretty interesting.
That makes sense to me. I think your mentality, your attitude affects your altitude. Have you heard that phrase before? I believe that. Like if your attitude definitely does affect your outlook. I don't know. When you got a good feeling, a good attitude, good things happen for you. You get lucky more. I agree. So, I used to play a lot of cards competitively, right? I used to gamble, with my uncle, and then I started playing poker. And what I found is that even in a game of chance like cards, having the right mentality, you get luckier. You seem to get that card you're looking for. So I think there's something to that. I mean, it's called The Secret?
The Secret.
Okay, I'm going to put that, make a little bookmark in my mind for that one and check it out. All right, B, thanks for the call, bro.
Always. You have a good weekend.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. All right. We're about 5 minutes away from the top of the hour, 8 a.m., when we will take a break. But at 8 a.m., I'm going to launch my Patreon site. And I'm kicking off this campaign in an effort to raise revenue to take this to the next level. I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in what we're creating. And I think that some of you do as well. I think that many of you do as well. And I want you to help me to compete in this realm. Okay, I made a successful transition from public radio to commercial radio. And now I deem this as a success in terms of internet talk radio. But there's so much more that I like to do, including, taking a show in terms of making it more of a multimedia show. I want you to be able to see me and interact with me visually as well. I think that'd be a very interesting thing to add to the show, among other things. So I'm partnering up with the people over at Patreon. I'm going to use their application. Many people who are creators and artists and things like that, people who are doing podcasts, people who are creating things on a regular basis. And of course, we're creating on a regular basis. I am creating on a regular basis in original content every weekday. So I'd like your support to take it to the next level. I've already put a link inside of the Friends Who Like the Nathan Ivey Show page, just so people can kind of get familiar with the process. And it's very simple. I know, listen, whatever you can do, I appreciate. If you can donate $2 a month, and that's the way it's kind of set up with Patreon. You have some sites like GoFundMe where they're asking for one-time donations, and that's cool. I mean, I've got nothing against that. But when you're creating ongoing content on a regular basis, and to this point, I'm producing 20 to 25 shows, depending on how many weeks there are in a month, then it may call for some ongoing support as well. So I'm going to press launch at exactly 8 a.m., and then I'm going to post a link inside the Chop Shop. If you feel inclined to do so, check it out. And I guarantee there'll be a level in which you might feel comfortable in supporting your boy Nate Ivey and pushing this forward. And I'll talk more about that during the next hour. I'll talk more about that in the next hour. But first, there was a very interesting conversation that took place between some aides that worked for the Clinton campaign and some aides for the Trump campaign. Everyone's been talking about it, and it got heated. People were talking about white nationalists, finger pointing. I've got the audio for you. We'll play that in just a couple of minutes. Also, here's my number again, 513-873-7134. Okay. All I ask is that you open your mind before you open your mouth. That's it. Other than that, it's all good. And you can comment on anything you hear being discussed to this point, or perhaps you got a Gilligan of the Week nomination. I will take all of that. Back to your chat, though. I want to make sure I read everybody's text messages this morning. Jill writes, Republicans are for business. Democrats are for people. It appears that way. It does. Kesey writes, good morning, all. Good morning. To me, back up here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Christelle writes, Dale, you're right about these women who have talked about FLOTUS looks. Why do they think they can talk? They are not cute. Yeah, Daryl, I agree with you, man. I mean, it's an interesting observation that some of the women who've been like called out in social media, matter of fact, all of them who've been called out in social media for talking about the looks of the first lady, they're not winning any beauty pageants. We'll put it like that. Put it nicely. They're not winning beauty pageants. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to see them on TV. Okay, let's put it that way. And I think that there's a reason behind that, because the kind of person who feels the need to talk about another person's looks, especially somebody like Michelle Obama, is somebody who feels insecure about themselves. That's all that is. They feel insecure about themselves. They feel insecure about their own looks. They're insecure, basically. They don't feel attractive. So shouting out somebody else or trying to put down the first lady and saying they look like a monkey, well, that makes them feel better. Because while they may not be the most attractive person out of the bunch, at least I'm not a monkey, right? And I know that sounds wild to some people, but I've heard it. Like I've heard white people say in moments of crises or moments of like a competitive situation and they're losing, at least I'm not black. I've heard that. So I'm wondering at the base, at the root of some of these not so attractive women who are calling out Michelle Obama, I'm wondering if that's what's really going on. Like if you're a confident woman and you feel good about how you look and you feel good about your body image, I don't think you've got time to be texting about how the first lady looks like a monkey. That's just me, though. That's just me. Craig writes, John doesn't vote, and he has an outdated Obama phone. Damn 22er, your ass is useless as your broken down Cadillac sitting on 22-inch rims at your mama's house. Damn, y'all tough on John. Good to see you, Kelly. Good morning, Demi. Someone writes, where's Kiki? Yeah, where is Kiki? Wherever you are, Kiki, I hope you're doing well. No lips this morning? Rika writes, women have that luxurious glow when they're pregnant. There's something special about it. I'll let you have that, Rico. Every man, every person has their thing they're into. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to shout that down. Continue, sir. Sorrentha writes, I got to trim my ends. Again, I told y'all that listening to John splits my ends. And then she's got the scissors icon. I guess she really means it. Damn. Is John really that bad? People saying hang up on John. He's a sexist idiot. I think I read that. Deborah writes, let's get to the choppers. Absolutely. James writes, I guess this dude doesn't know about the Israeli army. Everyone serves at least 2 years, women included. I don't know what John was talking about. That is very sexist. This idea that women can't hold it up and they won't be able to handle it. You got men who break down in combat situations. Everyone is different. But like I told John, women give birth. They're plenty strong. They'll be okay. And if I'm in the military, I don't give a damn if it's a woman or a man. As long as you're on my side, that's all that matters to me. But what about her period? And she'll deal with it. Okay. What about if it's a wartime situation? Well, you got to grab some rags or something. I don't know. Throw some dirt on it, kid. You'll be okay. It's a wartime situation. If I'm in a wartime situation, the last thing I'm worrying about is one of my fellow soldiers on my side and their menstrual cycle. Okay, but damn, not at all. Not one bit. I'm trying to get home in one piece and we can get home together. That's it. Christelle Fama writes, hashtag I stand with John because a variety of opinions is necessary to keep the show interesting. Is he bloviating and insufferable at times? Yes, but he states his opinions without fear. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Fama. Christelle writes, the Republicans will not call Donald Trump on his lies. It's so sad that these folks will let Donald Trump run this country into the ground, just like Bush did. I was having texting, should I say, I won't say having a conversation with a listener last night. And I told him, I'm like, Trump could be worse than Bush. In the sense that I don't really get a sense that Donald Trump has a I know he claimed that he knows more than the generals, which is just nonsense. But if you don't have a grasp on what's going on internationally, my fear is that you tend to gravitate to the people you put in place around you, and you have no idea what their agenda is. We saw that with Bush. Dick Cheney, Rumsfeld. I mean, he was surrounded by neoconservatives. I mean, had Bush been surrounded by people who had a different mentality, then perhaps the war on terror never would have been prosecuted in the way that it was. And that's my biggest fear about Donald Trump. I mean, he cares more about the mirror. He cares more about people in the adulation and screaming his name and he was right and he won. Then I'm afraid that he's going to leave the details to people who have a deeper, darker agenda. Okay, that's my fear. Carlene writes, good morning, Chop Shop. Good morning. Rhonda writes, tell him to go through Twitter or your webpage. Yeah, I think he did the right thing, though. That was B saying he has some issues getting the Twitter feed. the Spreaker feed. Just download the app. I'll do that with a lot of apps. Download the app or uninstall the app and then reinstall it. See if that works. Fema writes, funny you say Republicans are better at politics than Democrats, Nathan. Writer Jeffrey Tobin essentially said the same thing in his book, Too Close to Call, about the Bush-Gore election in 2000. He said the GOP was set on winning, while the Dems were treating it like an intellectual puzzle that needed solved. I agree with you. That's been my observation for 20 years about the Democrats and Republicans. And over the last 20 years, the Republicans have made significant strides in state legislatures, governorships, Congress, you name it. You name it. Renee writes, good morning, Choppers, TGIF. Good morning to you, Renee. Good morning, Miss D. Wanda writes, morning. It's Friday. Absolutely. Pat writes, Kiki is all right, y'all. Where's she at? Oh, okay. Pat says she's running late. The hell? Dare writes, LaSalle High School won the state title last night, or state title in football for a third time last night. And I remember Kiki mentioning earlier this week that her son plays for LaSalle and will be playing for the championship. So she probably still celebrating with her family as she should be. Okay. That's good. That's nothing wrong with that. I'm down with that. Akeem writes, morning, Choppers. I would love women on the battlefield while on their cycle. That's when they're straight in killer mode. It's got a point. Good point, Akeem. My name is Nathan Ivey. Now listen, I'm going to launch my Patreon page, whether it's now or later today. Do me a favor and at least give it a look. I need your support to help this project grow. This is the Nathan Ivey Show. Back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese.
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
To be a dad, this is what they had to say.
A father is always present. I mean, what real father figure can you have if they're not there?
In order to be a good dad, you need to love your son. You need to put gas in your car so you don't break down in the middle of nowhere. And you need to make them breakfast. Yep.
I mean, just to maybe play like a board game with me, or to just stay home and play some video games with me. Just to do like that one little thing is what I really look forward to.
I'm not asking him to be a perfect dad, but he should try.
He's just a constant force in my life. There's no other type of love like a dad's love because it's not comparable to anything else.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Trust Park, Nathan Ivey, the man, Cincinnati's only voice. And go to NathanIvey.com, man. Check him out.
This is the Nathan Ivey Show as we broadcast live via the Spreaker Network. And if you're just tuning in, we're here Monday through Friday, weekdays, should I say, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm sorry, 7 a.m. until 9 a.m. Oh, I see Kiki, she's Ivey. Our youngest son had his championship game last night. We are in Columbus. Well, they won their third championship. This is number 3. Well, congratulations to your son, Kiki. And when he gets his ring, did he get rings in high school? I'm sure they get rings. Then send a picture to me. I'll post it. It's big. What position does he play? That must be exciting as a parent. And then your child is in the big game, championship game. They come on with the championship. Hip, hip, hooray. And glad you made it. Here's my number, 513-873-7134. I posted links to my Patreon page, and tell me what you think. I need your opinion, your ideas. If you like to support the program more than you already are, quite honestly, I'm very humbled by your support, your clicks, the folks that share the show. When I tweet things out, people retweet. That is important. That is huge. I appreciate it. But I need your financial support to take this to the next level. I believe in it. And for many of you who've been following, I guess you want to say my talk radio career, the talk show over the years, you know that I mean exactly what I say. If I tell you I'm going to do it, it will be done. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. I've proven that to you. For folks who are newcomers, well, this is a show about superlative ideas and free speech. I mean, think about it. In the city of Cincinnati, you got a population that's roughly over 300,000. Now, a little less than 50% of that, I'd say around 48% is African American. There's one talk station with a paltry 4 hours of talk radio. And there's no station with progressive ideas, a progressive talk show host, which is exactly what we need in these days and times. So we're already filling that void. and to continue doing that in the way that I would like to do. You know what I mean? I always want to do things at the top. Then I do need your support. Okay. And if you go to Patreon, what I like about it is, you know, people can support on whatever level they want to support. And the way it works is you sign up to do an ongoing, like a monthly contribution. So you got a couple of bucks you want to throw my way. I appreciate it. I will put it to good use. Trust me, you will hear a difference immediately. As I update the studio, I have been perusing the city of Cincinnati. I got a few destinations, a few locations in mind in which I'd like to move the show to, so that we can have a place where you can come down physically and maybe take a Ussy with your boy Nate Ivey live on the air, and or I can sit down with guests on a regular basis, face to face. Okay. And also to help promote the show so we can compete on the internet. The internet is huge. I mean, think of it like an ocean, but it's much bigger than the ocean. Pardon me, but it's much bigger than the ocean. It is huge. I mean, there's so many sites and podcasts and internet shows that in order to compete, I need to be able to let people know where I am, when I am. Even people here in the city of Cincinnati, I guarantee you, I kid you not. When I go out to events and I run into people, they're like, Nate, where you been, man? And I tell them, they're like, word, I had no idea. I give them a card. I had no idea. So the audience that I used to speak to, I would say that the majority of them have no idea. They have no idea. And I want to put them on blast. I want them to know. And again, the good thing about me is I know exactly what needs to be done. I just need your support to actually do it. So there's various levels in which you can support the show. And the way Patreon is set up is that on those different levels, depending on what level you contribute, there are rewards that are set up. And I think it'll be kind of fun, quite honestly. I do. And I'd love to have your support. In fact, I need your support to take this to the next level. Again, here's my number, 513-873-7134. I've tweeted it out. It's on my page. It's on the show page. It's inside the Chop Shop. And I'll be reminding people as we move forward until we, and even after we reach our goal, I'll be saying thank you as well. And once we reach that goal, I've got something very special. We've been trying to get together for some time, but I've got something very special planned. And again, that's what it is. It's very cut and dry, very straightforward, as I always am. I need your support. Again, 513-873-7134. Just open your mind before you open your mouth. That's all it. That's it. Nothing more. Back to your chat here. I want to see who's in the Chop Shop. Yeah. A lot of people are saying, what's up to Kiki? Absolutely. Tonika writes, yes, Ussies with Nate. LOL. You've definitely got my support. That's Tonika. Thank you very much, Tonika. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. James writes, so Nathan, you didn't play sports in high school or college. Have you ever played organized sports? I played a little bit of basketball like in junior high. And then I played a lot of recreational basketball in college and used to play with some like college level players. Them dudes was on another level. So that was the extent of it. Played a lot of recreational ball. You know what I'm saying? Some of the best ballers of my era, of my age group. I used to ball with them on a regular basis. And I'm not here to tell you I was the best baller in the gym. I had my times. Your boy Nate Ivey caught a couple alley-oops on the fast break. I done dunked on a couple guys. I know what that feels like, to dunk on the crowd. It feels damn good. It feels damn good. A lot of people are wishing Kiki congratulations. Absolutely, Kiki. Congratulations to your son and to you, because I know how that works. The way that works is mom and dad are supporting you if you're doing any kind of organized sports. So that's like a family affair. Kiki writes, give thanks. Yes, he has 3 championship rings. He plays guard and tackle. I will have him to put all 3 in, and I will post a photo on Facebook. Absolutely. I want to see it. That's good, though. That's a sense of pride right there. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not a big football guy because of the head injuries and the things that I've been reading about lately. But in terms of extracurricular activities, students need that. They need something more than just books and getting a diploma to attract them to get through school on a regular basis. And I don't know, little Buddha, as she gets older, I think she'll probably play sports and cheerleading and do a whole bunch of different things. I know Junior will probably do the same thing. Let's see what else. Deanna writes, congratulations. And a lot more congratulations to her. Yes. James writes, congratulations to Kiki and her king and son. Yes, her king husband, she puts it. Nothing wrong with that. Did you get a chance to see any of the footage of Donald Trump in Cincinnati? If so, what is your reaction? Are you feeling good about a Trump presidency? Okay. Do you feel like that somehow within the next 30 days or so, he's going to sort of level out? Or is this pretty much as good as it gets when it comes to Donald Trump? Last night in Cincinnati, he talked about the media more, people in the media. He was gloating and pointing fingers. And I mean, it seemed very childish, very sophomoric to me. Very childish and sophomoric, but that's just my opinion. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, sponsored by the good folks at UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system. You can text the show and you can call the show. I appreciate you. That is deep. I want to switch gears here, not even switch gears, because we can talk about Donald Trump from now until the end of his term, and hopefully it's 4 years, but we shall see. Hey, maybe he'll turn it around. He'll be a good president. But did you hear about the young lady that committed suicide in front of her family, her parents? Apparently she had been bullied, and she had been what they call cyber bullied, which I don't understand it. I had a very interesting conversation with my daughter about 3 weeks ago about that because they were teaching her about cyberbullying in school. And what this young girl did was it would break the heart of any parent. I'll get to that in a second. But now more of your phone calls. Let's go back to the phones. How you doing, caller? Good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. This is Tanika. You call me, I don't know what you call me, Tonika, but it's Tanika.
Tanika. I always say Tonika. Yes. Tanika. How are you this morning?
Well, I'm good. A bit sore. You saw my post on Facebook. I got hit. I almost had a head-on collision yesterday on my way home from work. Right. And I had to swerve and get out the way. Then I got back-ended by another lady, so it was horrible.
Wait. Well, tell me everything. So you almost got hit. Where were you?
No, I got hit. I was going towards Norwood Lateral, passing on Renton Road, passing Go Start Philly.
I know where that is.
Just about to get on Norwood Lateral, and I'm driving, and I might have got distracted just for a second. I look up, and this dude, I don't know who it was. All I see is a big black pickup truck coming towards me head first. And I'm like, oh, my God, please don't hit me. So I'm trying to swerve out the way. Whoever it was hit me so hard that they knocked me into the next lane, and then when everything settled, knocked me so hard that my glasses fell. I couldn't find my glasses, so I was panicking like, Lord, I can't see. And then once everything kind of settled, found out I got rear-ended. Didn't even feel that impact, I guess, from the impact of the truck hitting me. So I looked back, and I guess whoever it was, they fled on foot, and the police took forever to get there. So
they fled on foot?
They fled on foot. So I'm shaking. My car is done.
Wow.
So I'm just really shaking. I'm just thankful to be alive, but just to be driving, just on a routine ride home like I always do, and just to see this big black truck coming towards you, I'm like, what the heck? So initially I thought it was a drunk driver because he was driving so violently, but this is the kicker right here. He hit 5 other cars before he hit me.
Wow.
It was off the chain. I felt like I was in a movie.
Now,
he had to be gone.
Now, was the guy in the truck the person who fled on foot?
Yes.
Black guy, white guy, young, old?
I never saw who it was. I was so shaken. The lady behind me, she the one told me, whoever it was, they fled on foot. Yeah, so it was off the chain. So I'm shaking. I'm glad, a little sore, but I'm just glad that I'm alive because, man, that could have been so much worse.
Oh, you said a little sore. Where are you sore at? Are you sore in your neck,
just
your hip?
My neck, my leg a little bit, but I'm fine. But it was just, oh, my God, when they say your life flashes before you, that's exactly what happened. So I'm just
What were you thinking? Do you remember what you were thinking the seconds before the impact?
Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit. That's what I was thinking. As I was trying to swerve over and try to get out the way, I'm like, oh my God. So it was off the chain. It was man, I'm just thankful my daughter wasn't in the car.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It could have been so much worse. So.
Oh, absolutely. But, can I give you some advice though? Start taking ibuprofen now and start icing it now. because sometimes in accidents you can get whiplash, but it's a delayed effect.
Yeah.
Like my wife, the same thing happened to her. She was rear-ended. She thought it was nothing. It wasn't as violent as what you're describing. And then 3-4 weeks later, terrible neck pains. Terrible.
Oh, my God.
And I don't wish that on you at all. But start that ibuprofen right now. I'm not sure if there's anything in store. Start icing it now and get out ahead of it just in case.
Yeah.
And make sure you see a medical professional. Let them do a full routine. Let them look at the neck, everything, just to make sure.
Yeah, I'm going today.
Okay.
I'm going today. But Nathan, I am so proud of you. I used to listen to you on your former, with your former employee faithfully, and I am so excited. Because I remember the first show, I think it was February 8th, I listened to the first show, and I've listened to just about every show since then. I am so excited to see your accomplishment in less than a year. It's so amazing, and you have my full support. My sister just got on here today. Her name is April Chanel, so I've been telling her, girl, you better get on here. Like, we have some interesting conversations, so I've been trying to tell her to come on. And other people that I know, too, that, who may not know that I'm back on here, so I'm just so very proud of you, and you have my full support.
Thank you so much, Tanika. I appreciate you. I got it right, and I'll get it right every time after this. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had to share some real honest. Oh, that is terrible, man. She did post on Facebook, and I think I made a comment like, I'm glad you're okay, or I liked it. I'm not sure what I did, but I did acknowledge it. But wow. I've been there before. Where I almost got hit and your life is flashing. My life didn't flash before my eyes. I just had a feeling of calm, quite honestly, because I was bracing for the impact. I've been in some tough situations before, and what I've learned about myself is typically, and it's just been me, I don't know how I react if it's my children and my wife. I might freak out. But I've been in some situations where my life was on the line throughout my short time on this earth. And I've always reacted the same way. I get calm. And I try to think myself out of it. But that's deep. So start the ibuprofen now, because that whiplash is a mother. Woo! You can die in a car accident. I worked with a woman many years ago. I was working at the Free Store, and that was great times. I love working for the Free Store for 2 reasons. I respect to this day the work that they do. Respected it. They do those holiday food boxes. Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? I was in the middle of those operations, coordinating volunteers, making food boxes. You talk about some back-breaking work. It was hard work. That was my first gig right out of college. My brand spanking new bachelor's degree in political science. And I'm hefting boxes at the Free Store and loved it. Loved it. Because I felt like I was doing something that really mattered. And I was. And I could actually see like people needed it. And then I was working with some good people. But my point is that there was a woman I work with. She and I didn't get along too much, actually. I kind of felt bad about it because we even had an argument like right before she died. But she gets into an accident. I think she got hit over near Hyde Park where she lived. And it's all true story. And she got into an accident and she got hit on the side, like the driver's side. But it was so violent that it whipped her neck around and she broke her neck in the car and died. It's terrible. It's very terrible. So, I mean, you cannot take any accident where your body is moving around violently. Go to a physician. Go see your doctor. Get a full checkup because you might feel great. And then 2 weeks from now, you can't even get out the bed. And I don't know if you've ever experienced it before. I've just dealt with just a little bit. But neck pain, neck pain and back pain are the worst pains ever. It's like it's right up there with your tooth, even worse. Neck pain and back pain because you can never get comfortable. And when you can't get comfortable, it's hard to sleep. And when you can't sleep, your body can't recover. You can't replenish. And it just makes it worse. But, Tanika, thank you for the kind words. And, I mean, we have come a long way. We have come a long way since February 16. Come a long way. New website, new equipment for the studio. And this is just the beginning. As I've been telling you from day one, if you support me, I will take it even further. And my vision is that I will use the success of this morning show to create other shows, to create a network of live shows and podcasts. And if you live in the city of Cincinnati, you know just how desperately it is needed. Now, I'm here to tell you that you won't be listening to other folks. Of course not. We may just be another option, but we need another option. We need another option. And plus, I want the ability to take this show on the road. Going to the RNC was eye-opening. There's no reason why we can't do more than that. There's no reason why when events are breaking around the country, I can't be there and report live, just like we did the RNC. But but I need your help to do that. I need your help to do that. Here's my number again, 513-873-7134. And if you're not in a position to support, listen, I ain't hating on you. I need your clicks, your comments, your phone calls. I appreciate you. But if you follow the link to my Patreon page, what you're going to see is various levels in which you can contribute to the show on a monthly basis. If you got a couple of bucks a month, thank you very much. I will put it to good use. If you got $5 a month, thank you very much. I will put it to good use. If you've got $10 a month, hey, listen, thank you very much. I will put it to good use. And again, for the folks who know me, folks who've been listening, I think you know that to be true. Okay? I think you know that to be true. So I appreciate you. I may add more levels to it later, but I want to see how this is my first foray into doing anything like this. I've heard about other people doing things like this, and I've always sort of thought about it. But, I kicked off this show and did it under my own power because I wanted to prove to you, okay, I want to earn your contributions. Okay, I didn't want to hit you in February. I want to earn your respect first. Okay, by showing you what I could do with the limited resources that I have at my disposal. And I think that I've done that. You might agree or disagree. You might not even like me, but you can't hate on what we're doing here. You cannot hate on my hustle. You might hate me. You might find this the most boring show ever. And that's fine. As long as you're listening and commenting and clicking, because I need your support. I would never take your support or your clicks for granted. It'll never happen. And I will always be loyal, and as I've been loyal all these years. So that's just a little bit from me to you. If you're interested, the link's on my Facebook page, on my Twitter page. I posted a link inside of the page of friends who like the Nathan Ivey Show. I need your support. Appreciate it. See. Wanda writes, I'd rather tithe with you than the church. They have more than enough people giving. I appreciate you, Wanda. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And, even, listen, I have to put it that way. Thank you very, very much. And again, don't feel some kind of way like, damn, Nate, I can't help out. It doesn't matter. Okay. As long as you're listening, maybe tell your friends about the show. Hey, maybe you listen to the show once, but then you give me an extra click. You go back and listen to the podcast. That all helps. It all helps. And there are not many online ventures of this nature that within a year can boast the kind of accomplishments that we can. And as I've told you from day one, that's because of your support. Matter of fact, I got a meeting later today with a sponsor, and it's a current sponsor. But, when you have these conversations, numbers come up. They want to know who's listening. And we have this is modest beginnings to some people because they can't see the connection that we have. They can't see the potential in it, but some people can. Like I told you, I've talked with some folks who are paying attention. They've shown an interest in the show. But before I go to anybody else, I'm going straight to you. I don't want to be beholden to anyone but you. Anyone but you. And that way, when the ish hits the fan and it's time, to have those difficult conversations about local people or regional folks or national folks, then I can do that knowing absolutely there's no repercussions. Okay, because we're going to be all right as long as you and I are together. And that's what it comes down to. That's what it's really all about. Independence. Independence. Again, 513-873-7134. I appreciate your support in advance. Rhonda writes, I just did a pledge. It's easy to do so. Go check it out. Thank you very much, Rhonda. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. More well wishers. Good morning, Crystal. How are you? Good morning. A lot of people saying well wishes to Kiki. That's beautiful. We're curating a brand new, it's a platform. I mean, without giving it another term, it's another level of communication that right now, not everybody's hip to. But I'm going to tell you, after spending, 12 years working in commercial radio, I'm here to tell you that what we are doing is the future. We are ahead of the curve. We are ahead of the curve. Corinthia writes, that was you? ? I was in the traffic that was behind it. I'm glad that you're okay. Yeah, I know exactly what that is. My wife works in that area. So I go past that Gold Star and that Thornton's gas station all the time. And the traffic can get a little crazy. I'll tell you this much, though. I have been noticing that as the years go on, that the level of driving gets worse. I mean, I've seen more people than last year just go straight through red lights like they're not even there. Just go straight through the light. A couple days ago, well, within the last week, I'm behind the guy, right? He goes right through the light like it's nothing. Like, didn't even stop. And I see people running lights. I see people trying to beat the traffic so they can make the light, and then they park in the middle of the intersection, blocking it for everybody, which is just a pet peeve for me right now. And I think at the root of it is, number one, people don't care anymore. And then number two, it's too easy to get a driver's license. And number three, people forget the rules. You know, what's funny is I just recently came across my driver's license, the driver's booklet they give you. Because about a year or so ago, I'll go ahead and tell you, I let my driver's license expire. It's the truth. And so I waited so long. I don't know what I was doing. But I waited so long that I had to take the whole process over again. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't really that upset about it. It was an inconvenience, but I wanted to see if I could. I wanted to see what the process was like. I was disappointed. 70% on the written part. Come on now. You know, that's too. You can get a D and still get a driver's license. That's what the problem is. People just don't know, in some cases, what the rules are. Honestly, they just don't know. Kim writes, sorry to hear about your accident, Tanika. I'm your butler if you need me. Let me apply these Spacavelli oils to your neck and back. Let me heal you, boo. Keem, that's funny, man. Hilarious. Jane writes, Tanika, I'm so happy you're okay. God is good. Kiki writes, Tanika, please go to the doctor. Start your paper trail now. Start it now. Start it now. I hope you don't have any other repercussions whatsoever, but been there, done that. Been there, done that. James writes, doctor, chiropractor, and attorney, Tanika. I know that's right. And in that order. Good to see you, Pam. Good to see everybody. Deborah writes, Tanika, I'm glad you're okay. I have chronic pain from an accident in 1986 where a man hit our car on the passenger side. What? 1986? This has turned out to be a lifelong chronic neck and back pain issue for me. See, Deborah, listen, I grew up with older people across the street from a retirement home. When I tell you about neck and back pain, it's because I lived with some folks that was dealing with it every day in their 50s and 60s. See, what happens when you get older is that your injuries that you thought you were over and healed, they start to pop back up again. And I only know this because I lived with my grandparents for a lot of times. Every year, every summer, I was with them during the summer. So you pick these things up. Back pain and neck pain are the worst. They are the worst. I mean, I used to see my grandfather. I heard stories about him not having to stand up when he slept because his back was hurting. Could you imagine having to stand up when you sleep? That's deep right there. That's some pain. It's the truth. Rhonda writes, I can see Division, the Nathan Ivey station. Absolutely. Although it won't be called the Nathan Ivey station. I've got a few names in mind. This is a vision I've had since really going back to January of this year. But I knew that the most important step was to kick off the show and to show that this was a serious venture, to show you, my listeners, my supporters, that I am 1,000% on board for this. Before I came to you with something like that, that's just my why. That's just my style. That's just me. Damn, that is bad. Deanna writes, Nathan, can payment be made with other sources other than CC or PayPal? I have my payments for Pandora come out from iTunes account. That allow me to buy iTunes cards and load my account. On Patreon right now, I believe it's just like a credit card, debit card, or a PayPal account. But I'll look into it. But I believe those are the few methods that you can use. And Deanna, thank you for even considering it. I appreciate you. Wanda writes, are we going to be able to pay recurring every month out of our checking account? Yes, right. You can set it up, and it'll come out every single month. I think it comes out around the 1st of every month. Kiki writes, we'll be making a pledge as well, Mr. Ivey. We got you 6. Thank you very much. Brian writes, where do I go to contribute? ? Well, there's a link inside the Chop Shot. I'll post another link during the break inside the Chop Shot. But it's on my Twitter feed, my Facebook page, the show page for the Facebook show page, the Nathan Ivey Show. It's all there right now. And again, you can pledge at whatever level or contribute at whatever level that you feel comfortable with. I know things is rough out there. I understand it. But we're building and we're growing every single day. And I need your support. Nathan Ivey, this is the Nathan Ivey Show.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work. There's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and
Uncle
the
Dan? Mom? Dad? If you store your guns properly, so not just anyone can get to them.
I'll feel safer when I'm playing outside. Safer when walking home.
Safer when my friends come over. As your neighbor, I'll feel safer.
As a school teacher, I'll feel safer.
We'll all feel safer.
Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
You've accidentally cut your daughter's bangs unevenly. Do you A, line things up a centimeter from her hairline?
Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man.
No. Sweatbands are so hot right now. Everyone's wearing them. Like that basketball player and that other basketball player.
B, get spiritual.
Mom, where did all the mirrors go?
A reflection could never capture our true selves.
Huh?
Beauty is within.
C, look on the bright side.
Less time blow drying, more time texting.
Or D, show empathy.
Mom, you really don't have
Ta-da! Twinsies!
I kinda love it. As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Adopt U.S. Kids and the
Back to the show.
Good morning, everyone. everyone. Welcome back. Today is Friday, December 2nd, 2016. This is the Nathan Ivey Show, the last honest place in America. Nathan Ivey with you. Have you heard this story about a Texas teenager that committed suicide in front of her family over bullying? Tragic. If you have children, this story is tragic. And deep at the same time, a Texas teenager, apparently she had been bullied over her weight. And she had been bullied for a lot of her life. And she'd even been cyberbullied. Cyberbullying is where, like, people go online and they say negative things about you. And from what I gathered, from what I read, she was kind of handling it the right way. Like, she was just ignoring it. And then people were making, like, fake accounts and then sending her messages. I mean, everybody, some people can be so infantile. And being a teenager is rough. Being a teenager is rough. And I don't know, to me, is that really bullying? Calling names is not bullying, is it? To me, bullying is kind of like physical intimidation. I don't know, that's how I look at it. Because everybody got talked about. Oh yeah, middle school, junior high, high school, come to school looking rough one day. It's your turn. Everybody took a turn in that, right? Everybody took a turn in that, right? Everybody's been bullied. Everybody's run into somebody who tried to bully on you, whether they were successful or not. It's just in the nature of some people to try those kind of things, right? So apparently she put a gun to her chest and then pulled the trigger right in front of her family. Could you imagine that? She must have had some real deep feelings about it. And the family said that the bullying was constant bullying. You go online, you're trying to be on your Facebook page like everybody else. You just want to be on Twitter. People are sending you messages. Now, here's what I recommend. And I've had to do this as a grown man. I've had to block people and I've had to delete people from my Facebook page because they were sending me all kind of crazy messages. And, you know, the kind of people that send those kind of crazy messages and try to get at you on Facebook and on Twitter, what they're looking for is a response. That's what they want. They want to keep it going. Now, either they want to try to, I don't know, get some shine out of it or they get some kind of perverse pleasure. But I don't know. I'm busy. I'm just too busy to be on somebody's page. What's the term they use? Trying to bring grief to somebody online. I don't know. Maybe I'm different. Aren't you too busy for that? But, this happens with grown people now. Grown people. Let me give you an example. I would say it was about a week or two after, and it's so funny because we're coming up on the anniversary of my departure from Radio 1. And as a matter of fact, it was on December 5th, 2015. I might have to hook up with Jerry Tolliver. We'll have breakfast over the weekend and talk about it. Okay, we'll chuckle about it. But anyway, I remember it was about a week or so. This is just to give you an example of how people try to bully you and get at you. But I don't go for that. It means nothing to me. But anyway, so it's about a week or so. And so the wounds are still sore, all that kind of stuff. Still trying to figure out what I'm going to do. And somebody, I guess he had been my Facebook friend for some time. And I guess he had some, I'm not going to put his name out there, but I guess he had some, I don't know, he worked in the media, did a show or something like that. Great. I respect everybody's hustle. Do your thing, bro. He starts sending me all these messages. This is why you got fired and this and that. And I'm like, number one, you have no idea about what went on. But number two, even if you were right, why would you want to send me a message like that at a time like that? I got like 2 or 3 people that kind of sending me those kind of messages. Ha ha. And see, what it told me is that those were haters. Those were haters. And the entire time I'm doing my thing, rocking the MIC, superlatives, the whole 9 yards, they sitting back hating because they wish it was them. I'm just not like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just born made differently. The people in my life, I just don't have time. I don't get caught up with what other people are doing. I run my race with blinders on, and that's it. So, I'm going back and forth to this guy, not even back and forth. Maybe I sent a comment or two like, go play or something like this. And this dude was adamant. I'm doing this. You're not. And so I had to block the dude. And then the dude, I guess he had a second account. Then he came back with a second account. This is a grown man, mind you. I mean, this just happened like last year. And it paid me. I paid no mind to it whatsoever. I mean, it meant nothing to me whatsoever. But I bring it up to say that whole bullying thing and people trying to pick at you online, that's real. And what I do is I delete them and I block them. And if they come back, or their friends come back, I delete and block all their friends. I'll block the whole family if that's what it takes. Just so when I go to my Facebook feed or my Twitter feed, I don't even have to think about the nonsense. I'm just too busy for that. Maybe when I retire and I've got more time to sit around and play games like that, then maybe I'll go back and forth or something like that. But at this point, I'm just far too busy. Even a year ago, I'm just too busy. I don't really have time for that. So that's why it's hard for me to understand this whole bullying thing. Like, how do you get cyberbullied? Block them. If they come back with another account, block that account. And eventually they'll get tired of it. Eventually they're going to run out of different email addresses to use. Eventually they'll get tired of it. That's what I found. Because eventually it gets old. But that's deep. So apparently she's like standing in a bedroom with a gun to her chest. And she's crying and crying. The family's like, no. I believe her name was Brandy. Her sister was like, Brandy, please, no. Brandy, no. And she pulled the trigger. That is tragic. That is tragic. But my question is this. Should the people who are bullying her be charged in any way? Are they complicit in what happened to this young girl? Because everybody's different. Like, everyone may not be as tough. Okay, I got a tough exterior, but I'm a Virgo, so I'm soft on the inside. But I got a tough exterior, right? I mean, after doing talk radio for 12 years commercially, people come at you every second, every word you say. You kind of get used to it. You have to develop a thick skin if you're going to survive in that world. If you thin skin, talk radio is not for you. It's not for you. Because people are going to come at you for everything you do, the way you pronounce words. I've heard it all. Every time you make a mistake, I make mistakes, and it is what it is, but not everybody's like me. Not everybody's like you. If you're strong like that, some people are very sensitive. It matters to them what people say. It matters if, especially, they feel like what they're saying is right. But do you believe that, and this is not the case at this point, I'm asking is, do you believe that the bullies, these folks that were sort of pushing this young girl to feel bad about herself, should they be complicit in any way? And if that was the rule of the land, like if you bully somebody and they commit suicide, if the family of that victim, all right, the person that committed suicide, if they could go after you criminally, do you think that would stop these kind of phenomena? We're talking about teenagers. Or is this just what you have to deal with? It's like verbal dodgeball. Sometimes you get hit. Sometimes you hit somebody else. It's a rite of passage, right? We've all dealt with it. And I was a Section 8 kid living in the suburbs at a time in which fashion meant everything. So you already know I had to deal with it. Makes you tough, man. Makes you strong. That's what I think. But what do you think? Cincy Tigers writes, the Trump rally was noticeably uncrowded. They are blaming Secret Service and blocked streets. Yeah, right. Wink, wink. CJ writes, like I told Nate, I got you. Thank you very much, CJ. I appreciate it. I posted a link. I need your support. James writes, in my way back, Miss D, my attorney, sent me to the chiropractor to get more money from insurance. I didn't know about physical therapy as an option. Pat writes, yeah, when you got a claim like that, you don't just go to the doctor one time. You go to the doctor on an ongoing basis so they can diagnose the degree of your injury. So what else? Pat writes, you have my support. You already know. I'm so proud on many levels. Wink, wink. Thank you very much, Pat. And I do know that. Saritha writes, I don't give folk my money, but I rocks with you like classic rocking chairs. You can count on my investment. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, Sarinthia. And I will put it to good use. Absolutely. Crystal writes, I think it can be both. It's such a sad story. Cry. Tear. It's a very sad story. James writes, don't cyber bullying go on here. That's what some of your choppers, sheep, do to John. Now, I don't think the choppers are sheep. That ain't true at all. I don't do that kind of show, and I don't create that kind of culture around the show, James. You trying to instigate, bro. And no, I don't think that's bullying. Because if you put your opinion out there in the world of talk radio, then you open yourself up for people to criticize you. And James, again, I don't know what's going on with you in the morning, man. Maybe you busy, but you've not called in yet. And let us hear your voice and let us hear your opinion. And maybe that's perhaps you're a little bit shy about sharing your opinion. That's why I support John. You know, John calls in no matter. He knows people. He knows what I'm going to say to him. He calls in anyway. I appreciate it. Tracy writes, look at you now. Where's the haters at now? I have no idea. But I appreciate it. Again, I don't really focus on, I've never been that kind of person. I've never been a jealous kind of person, never been an envious kind of person. I've never looked at somebody and thought, oh, they're doing something I can't do. I've never been that kind of way. And so I don't know, maybe that rubs some people the wrong way or something. I don't know. James writes, I had a bully once, and he actually tried to sue me for having detached retinas after getting his eyes dotted. He is no longer with us today because he never learned to leave people alone and was taken out a few years later. Karma. Wow. You had to dot that eye, huh, James? You got to do what you got to do, bro. Some people need that, honestly. You ever run into somebody and you can tell that what they really need is somebody to open up a can or whoop ass on them just to wake them up, sober them up. I ran into a couple people like that in my lifetime. And I felt the same way as you, James. Karma take care of it. I don't need to do a thing. Ms. D writes, I'm still pissed at your former employer for how things were handled. Just wake up and no Nate. No notice, no message, and no opportunity for you to notify your listeners. In poor taste. I won't listen to their talk radio again. Hump. Well, I mean, that's the way the radio business goes. And the reason why you don't get a chance to have, it's very rare when somebody gets a chance to say goodbye to their audience. I'm lucky enough to have been able to have done that while working at Radio 1. Okay. We're doing a midday show. They made a decision. That was straight up nepotism, by the way. They made a decision to move in another direction, but they retained me and my skills for a weekend show. And I was able to work my way back into a morning show. So that's pretty much par for the course. And for any of it, and the reason why is because the folks at the station don't know what you might say. You might wow out. You know what I'm saying? You might call out the whole station to tell listeners not to call in anymore. So I can understand it. But in anything that I build, it will always be loyal to the people that support it. So as I've said many times before, if I make it to that point where I can develop a network where you hear other shows, I'll always be loyal to you. I'll never change the format in the middle of the night. I'll never take your favorite voices away from you unless it's something that's completely unforeseeable. I can't imagine what that might be. But that's just the way it is, though. And the other thing about me, Miss D, is I don't hold any grudges. I had a great opportunity working for Radio 1. I learned so much. I was able to actually become a talk show host, while working with them. And now I'm able to take those skills and transfer it into something I'm doing now. So I hold no grudges. But I'm here to tell you that Cincinnati needs an alternative. And you know that. You know that. Because of two things. Sometimes in the big corporate culture, the people get lost. And sometimes when a company becomes so big, it forgets why it was started in the first place and what it's really all about. And that means that sometimes the needs, the desires of their consumers, they get switched to the wayside. And people start thinking they can just give you anything and you'll just accept it. And the other thing about it is when you got a huge corporation, you have so many politics and interest involved that sometimes that can hamper and stifle the ability to have just free speech, just a straight up real conversation about what's going on. What we're creating together will not have any of those issues. Rhonda writes, no, James, it's not because we got love for John. We just want John to change. Okay, that's right. I'm with Rhonda. Mr. Holly writes, hey, Nate, do you and Lincoln Ware still talk? I never hear you calling on his show or him calling on your show. Lincoln and I do. I mean, if I'm out, I've seen Lincoln out a few times. We're always friendly. I like Lincoln, and Lincoln likes me. He's told me he's missed me straight up, and I bet he did. If you're doing a show after me, you in a great spot. Trust me. Because I used to set the table for him perfectly. You couldn't ask for anything better. As a talk show host, you come in the morning, you already got topics set up, hot topics. You got callers on the line. So you can't get anything better than that in talk radio. I don't care what these Gilligans out here may be saying. They don't have any idea what they're talking about. Trust me. So, yeah, I'm friendly with Lincoln. Absolutely. I always will be. No. I would never call into the station, and I don't suppose that they'll call here either. OK, I don't believe that's ever going to happen. Craig writes, these people who were bullying her should be charged something, hands down. So what are you charging with? Bullying? Is that like a crime now? So if I talk about you to the point that you pull the trigger on yourself, is that my fault or your fault? Is it a 50-50 thing? Or is it like 70-30 you? I don't know. Maybe is that self-esteem? And from what I'm reading, there must be more to this story. Because it's hard for me to believe that you've got a young person who has a family that supports them, that loves them, that helps to and has helped to build that person's self-esteem. And because a few people bully you for a few years, now you want to give up the gift that God gave you? I'm not giving it up for nobody. Unless I'm trying to save my family or, something like that. That's about it. You think I'm going to pull a trigger on myself because somebody said something about me on Facebook or Twitter? I can't understand that. I can't understand that. Ms. D writes, glad Nate served lemonade 2 months after. Dare writes, made my pledge, Nate. Thank you very much, Dare. I appreciate you. Fema writes, I'm pretty sure I know the guy Nathan is talking about in regard to bullying him on Facebook. No online bullies should be charged unless they specifically say kill yourself. Well, even if they say kill yourself, what does that mean? So what? So if I said, yeah, you know what, you're worthless, why don't you just kill yourself? Nobody loves you anyway. And you go do it. I'm to blame for that? I mean, I can see both sides of the argument. On one hand, it's like you're dealing with somebody who you know emotionally is not all the way there. And on the other hand, it's like you have to be responsible for yourself. I don't know. That's a deep one right there. That's why I put it out there. Teenager in, I need to make sure I say this right. A teenager in Texas committed suicide over bullying. And she committed suicide right in front of her family. Now, what does that tell you? I mean, for her to commit suicide right in front of her family, I'm reading into it because I've only read what maybe you've read or maybe you're hearing about this for the first time. But that tells me that, if you want to commit suicide in front of somebody, that means you want them to know, you want them to feel your death. And why would she choose to do that in front of her family? Did she feel as if her family wasn't supporting her enough? And so it's like, okay, you're not going to support me. Well, I'm out of here now. And now you got to deal with the fact that I'm dead. That's deep. That's deep. This bullying thing is serious out here, but it's not new. People have been bullied since the beginning of time. It's not new. I just think that some people are becoming weaker. I mean, for lack of a better term, just to go straight to the point. You know, they caught up with themselves. They've been coddled their whole lives. You know what I'm saying? They've been told they're the best. And their parents overinflate their expectations, and they go to school, and kids can be cruel as hell. And when they deal with a little bit of friction or a little bit of frustration, they don't know what to do. Quote, people would make up Facebook accounts and they would message her and she wouldn't respond, and they would still come at her. Well, here's what you do. You keep blocking them. You block all their friends, their family members. You block as many people or delete as many accounts as you have to, so that when you go online, that you can do so in peace. That's it. That's it. That's simple. Let's go back to the phones. Caller, how are you? Good morning.
What's going on, Mr. Ivey?
How you doing? Is Cerinthia?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing, Cerinthia? Good morning.
I'm chilling. Talking about this whole bullying thing, I really believe that these parents nowadays, they do a lot of coddling want to, I guess, try to preserve innocence for as long as they can. But in the end, what they're doing is really developing a thin skin for their kids. They become very touch sensitive. So everything is owie, or they looked at me funny, or they're talking about me. When we were younger, you had to develop a thick skin. There wasn't no such thing as running home to mama or daddy saying, this person is messing with me.
Right. My mother sent me outside a couple times, like, you better fight them. Running in here talking about they trying to fight you. I had to run back out there. Thanks, Mom.
Now beat her up. Like,
it's like 2 or 3 of them out there. My mother's telling me to go back out there and fight.
They don't know how to do that. So they're taking, I'm not going to say the cowardly way out, but they're taking the easy way out. It's like, I don't have no fight in me, so if I just remove myself from the situation,
then maybe everything will be okay, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Right. Yeah. 10-year-old, she's a special kind of somebody. And because, she was the typical little girl, pretty long hair, light skin, I'm like, well, you're going to come across these type of folks that's going to, A, want to tease you because you're light, B, because you're pretty, and C, because you have long hair. You're going to experience envy and jealousy on all forms. So I started with her playing the dozen. And at first, in the beginning, it used to hurt her feelings, and I'd be like, well, at the end of the day, this is what this is going to teach you. If you can't cap on me better than my mama can, then you have no nothing on me. What that did was, A, it helped her develop a thick skin. It helped her become quick on her feet. And you can't sit there to say anything negative about her because she has a quick retort on why she's awesome and why you're jealous about it.
Right. Now, that's a good tactic. I've done the same thing with my daughter. I'm going to do the same thing with Junior if he has any issues. We're gonna play the dozens at home. I want you to get in that and it was so funny because when I first did it to her, her tears welled up in her eyes like, Daddy. And I'm like, I'm trying to teach you here. I don't mean this, but you need to be able to show a strong front even when you surrounded with people that might be talking about you. You can't just break down and dissolve in front of them because that's going to make it worse.
Because the first time you show a sign of weakness, they going to jump on you like a pack of prairie hounds.
Right. And never let go. Never let go.
Right. And what it will become is it will become a thorn in your side, and you will be a target. So how do you not make yourself a target? You shift their aim. They're going to only pick on someone that they consider weak. If you're strong, you're not weak. So it's a mentality we have to, as parents, foster to tell our children that, hey, you're just flat out awesome, but let me show you how to defend yourself in the midst of being awesome. And these kids nowadays don't have that. And you'll keep hearing about suicide because they don't know how to deal with rejection. 9 times out of 10, when they went to their parents and told them about what was going on, the parents became so dismissive because they're engrossed in their own daily lives. So you're like, what you got going on is trivial, and to some parents. So, that was probably why the girl did what she did in front of her parents. Like, hey, you didn't hear my cries, but here it goes. The blood is on your hands now. A slap and a rhetorical slap in the face, but now that's going to haunt them parents for the rest of their life.
For the rest of their life. They'll never get over that, ever.
Never. So, at a certain point, we need to listen to our children on when it becomes very, very serious for them because their feelings are valid, too. A bunch of people, grown-ups, sit and become dismissive to children because they feel like, hey, you're a child. You've only been here 16 whole minutes. What do you know about feelings hurt? So, once you teach your kids that, hey, what they say is valuable, their feelings are valuable, they are important, and then you teach them how to defend themselves, you got an impenetrable force right there because you're going to have your kids talk to you to let you know what's going on, but then you can be rest assured that, hey, in a tough situation, they'll be able to defend themselves. And if they come and tell me they can't, it's really something very bad. And you as a parent can be able to have your kids back. It's just right now, these parents are so self-centered, so self-absorbed with what their issues is, may it be relationally, financially, or even workplace. So they tend to dismiss the crafts of their kids. Not saying that suicide is the way to go, but saying for them who don't know how to show any conflict resolution, that's their only answer.
Right. And then for a teenager, they're not looking to be 30 or 40. All they know, their world is every single day. It's just thinking about the hell she got to go through when she go back to school the next day. And it just got to a point where I guess it was unbearable.
Right, because for kids, the school is their workplace. We can go to work, clock out, go home, and find whatever vice we get or have to sit there to relax and get rid of the day. The only way a child can get rid of a day is to talk to another child who don't even relate because they're probably younger and haven't been through what they've been through.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cynthia, thank you for your call.
No problem.
Yep. Have a great weekend. Good to hear your voice. Cynthia's becoming a regular caller. Let me go back up here to James Benta. He says he doesn't want to wait 30 minutes for a 1-minute conversation. Well, James, the line is available. If you call me right now, James, I will put you on the air and we can hear your opinion. 513-873-7134. I'm not challenging you. I'm not calling you out. I'm simply responding to what appeared to be your desire to call into the show. The line is clear. Okay? If you give me a call right now, I'll put you straight on the air. Okay? Someone's calling. Maybe it's James. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing this morning?
What's going on, brother? Who is this?
This is Pork Chop of the Pork Chop and Applesauce.
What up, Pork Chop? How you doing, bro?
All right, how you doing, man? Good to talk to you.
Absolutely, man. What's on your mind this morning?
The thing about the bullying and the cyberbullying, right? Now, I think it should be some kind of law or something made up for the people that's doing it, and that's only because you have pimps out here, right? And they're running prostitution or whatever. They made laws for pimps, and they're basically doing the same thing to weaker people. You know, go out there and sell your body, bring me the money back. Now, these women don't have to do this. It's not like, you know, the gorilla pimping stuff going on, but, you know, they even made new laws like pimping and pandering turned into body trafficking now to have more time to put pimps away. The pimps are getting 30 years and life sentences for, you know, prostitution now.
What kind of world we living in, man, when pimps is getting 30 years for prostitution? What's wrong with this world?
I mean, hey, I don't, you know, me myself, I had a cousin that was a pimp, so I don't too much believe in it, but, you know, they take advantage of weaker women, and I guess it's a thin line between that and bullying. It's almost the same thing, not as quite, but, you know, it's almost in the same ballpark.
Yeah, but one difference is that you're just getting bullied in school.
Right.
And they're talking about you and calling out your clothes and what are those? What are those? You know, some kids is just having nightmares hearing that. You know that. What are those?
Hey, hey, check it out. I've been big on my life, so I had to have thick skin. So I, you know, all the fat jokes and all that. So, you know, I had to get my snapping skills up.
You got to.
I was one of the best ones. They knew, like, if you started with me, I'm gonna end you real quick.
Ain't nobody gonna mess with Pork Chop. Is that how you got the term, the name Pork Chop?
Nah, I just thought it sounded cool, honestly.
Oh, okay. Nothing wrong with that. Man, listen, you got to have thick skin out here. And the difference is, if you're getting bullied in school because of your clothes or your weight, then the bullies aren't telling you to go sell your body. Right. And then give them the money. But at the same time, if you get somebody who, I remember being in school and it was always one or two people and you knew that they was fragile. And I was more of a caretaker type, like, you know, I want to protect them, look out for them, you know, make sure they got a friend at lunchtime, things like that. That was more my attitude because I never saw the value in the bullying thing. Like, what do I get out of bullying somebody who I know I'm stronger than? That doesn't do anything for me.
Well, that tells you how weak that individual is.
Right.
You know, you're not bullying somebody who can, you know, as you say, kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You're bullying people that you know you can get away with.
Right. And I never respect those kind of individuals because it's like, You wouldn't do that with somebody who you know will get with you. So, what's the big deal about it? But so if they start charging people, let's say I'm bullying somebody, they commit suicide. So I got to spend 10 years in jail or 5 years in jail because they were too weak to take it?
Well, I don't know about no 10 years. I mean, it should. I mean, if they did, if they end up killing themselves, you drove them to kill themselves, it should be. It could be something, but I'm only saying that because of what they did for the human trafficking for pimping. For having a prostitute is called human trafficking. If you Google or whatever, the past pimps that's been getting locked up, they've been getting life, 50 years, 30 years.
I don't agree with it. I don't agree. Now, if you're trafficking younger, like minors, that's different. Then they should lock your ass up forever. But if you're dealing with grown-ass women, that's a decision that ultimately they're making themselves. For whatever reason, abuse, drugs, they're making that decision. So, honestly, man, I've said it before, I think prostitution should be legal and it should be regulated. And if men or women want to sell their body, it's not my business. All I want to make sure is you're not out here spreading diseases. But other than that, if you want to sell it, because, there's women in those kind of relationships right now, they dealing with men and dudes coming through with some money and he's paying for the rent. And the reason why is because she's breaking them off every Friday. You know that? Sugar daddies, sugar babies. Happens all the time, man. So to act like this is, oh my God, you're trading your body for sex is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Man, it's the oldest profession, man.
Yes, it is. Yep. Hey, Pork Chop, thanks for the flow, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, brother. Take it easy. You too, man. Absolutely. Appreciate the phone calls today. We grow every single day. Yeah, we can have real conversations. We can talk. We can communicate. We can create something new. We've already taken the inroads to do so. And if you're just tuning in, today I kicked off a campaign to raise revenue for the show. I'll be straight up with you. But I think I found what I believe is a pretty interesting way of doing it. Like, I've looked at Kickstarter, I've looked at GoFundMe and things like that, and they're cool. But for what I'm doing and the relationship that I would like to have, I look at the people that support me, the listeners, as people that really support me. Like, I'm able to do this. I'm able to get advertisers or to get a sponsor like UC Health because people recognize that there's an audience here. And that's because of you. And as I look to grow this, which I am, I don't want to stay stationary. I want to grow. I want to see how far we can take this. And I'm talking with people who are interested in investing and they're interested in this and that. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait. The only persons that I want to be beholden to is my audience. Just you and I and whoever else comes forward. That's it. Just you and I. And that allows me to not only grow, but it allows me to stay completely independent. I can say whatever I need to about anybody in a constructive manner. I'm not talking about like bullying or playing games with it. But if it comes to a point like in the city of Cincinnati where I got to call out some stakeholders, knowing that what I'm doing is secure and I'm only beholden to you allows me to do and say whatever needs to be said, which is in my nature. You know what I'm saying? If I got to go to the rally and act a fool within acceptable levels. I ain't trying to get arrested for no reason. If I got to get arrested, I want it to be for a reason. Then I want to make sure and know with confidence that what we're building will never be touched. But James, I have a line available from talking about James Bento. If you're still listening, brother, he said he has better things to do than to wait 30 minutes for a 1 minute conversation. And that'll be a real quick conversation, just 1 minute. But the line is available. And if you like to call in, I will come straight to your call. I thought that might have been you, but it was Pork Chop. Appreciate the call, Pork Chop. So feel free to call in and share your thoughts. Fame Up writes, J Love, shots fired. No shots fired. I mean, that was true story. That was nepotism. That's what it was. I mean, I don't have any hard feelings about it or anything like that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't think anybody involved is going to say otherwise. But it is what it is. Jane writes, where can I donate to your cause, Nate? I posted. Thank you, Patrick. Pat. I'm not Patrick, but Pat. She writes, Jane, here's the link. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Deborah writes, Nate, I was so obsessed with your former employer that I actually sent in an email message to the corporate office. I was very respectful, but I let them know how I felt about their poor decision in removing your show. I appreciate it. You know, it's so funny because a lot of people reached out to me, a lot of well-wishers is like, Nate, I got you. What do you need? A lot of folks are like, I'm never going to listen to those stations again. I used to tell people all the same things. Just support me in what I do. You know, you not listening to them doesn't do anything for me. But you supporting me with your clicks, sharing it. Maybe you talk to somebody that likes talk radio. I mean, I'll be honest with you, this show is not for everyone. It's not for everybody. Everyone doesn't like talk radio. They may not like this flow. But if you think they may, tell them about the show. That's how you help me. And I want to create ways for people to help me if they want to, if you're inclined to do so, if you're in a position where you can. And that's why I set up the Patreon page. And some might be wondering, well, Nate, you've been doing this show for what, 6-7 months? See, February, March, April. We've been doing the show for 10 months. For 10 months. Why are you just doing it now? It's because I wanted to prove to you just how committed I was. I wanted to show you what I was willing to and what I was able to do with my own resources before I came to you and asked you for anything. Okay, I wanted to show you that I was committed to the very end. I wanted to show you what I could do. And if you support me, then I can do even more. Okay, and that's why I waited. I mean, that's just how I am. I want to show you first. I want to ask you first and show you later. I wanted to show you first. Renee writes, great things, Nathan. I have a great weekend and all. Absolutely. Thank you very, very much, Renee. Appreciate you. Jerry writes, James, be mad before noon. I don't know. James got a bone to pick with me or us. I'm not sure. But his opinion is valued. And the door is always open, James. Hey, maybe Friday isn't the day for you to call in. Next week is a whole new week. Maybe we'll talk about something next week that you feel inclined to call in about. Great. Billy writes, I think when you go to a level where you use an untraceable app to create a fake account to internally cause harm, you should be charged. I'll give you one scenario in which maybe somebody can be charged for bullying. And I think this has actually happened. Let's say you're dealing with someone who has previously attempted suicide. So everybody knows this person's on the edge. And you have somebody who's like goading that person like, hey, kill yourself. You should do it. Do it. Do it. Be a man about it. Don't mitch out. You know what I'm saying? Don't mitch out. Do it. Do it. Now, in that case, and you know this person's on the edge already, and they commit suicide, then perhaps you should be charged. But then again, don't you have the right to take your own life if you decide to? If you say, I don't want to be here anymore, don't you have the right to do that? Now, you tell me. Yuli writes, a teenager cannot see the finality of her moves. I agree. I promised you a little bit of Donald Trump, and I'm going to give you as much as I can stomach this morning. And here is a little bit of audio, starting with Mike Pence. I'm not going to play too much of it because it'll drive me crazy. It's a Friday. But Trump says some things that are worthy of a second listen and definitely worthy of a few flows. Check this out.
With my family at my side, I will take the oath of office to serve as Vice President of the United States of America.
Do you really have to?
And I'm here tonight to say thank you.
That's Mike Pence, Vice President-elect.
I'm here tonight to say thank you for electing a president who will make America great again.
Sure he will. Sure.
So thank you to the people of Ohio, to the people of Kentucky, and I'll bet there's a few Hoosiers in the room. Thank you for doing your part to make Donald Trump the next president of the United States of America.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. Let me flash forward here. That's Mike Pence. So let's get to Donald. Here we go.
Thank you, everybody, for being so patient. Thank you. going to be happy. We're all going to be happy.
I know Trump's going to be happy.
For one main reason, to say thank you to Ohio. Thank you. We won the state by almost 10 points, which they say is totally unheard of. In fact, I don't know if you know, but at the beginning, they say you have to win Ohio. You must win Ohio, right? You heard it. Over and over and over. And we started off sort of even, and then we were 1 up and 2 up. We didn't have much help at the top levels. You know that, right? And that turned out it didn't matter. But we had help with the people, and that's what really did matter. So I can't vote that didn't vote in 20 years. People came to vote that haven't voted before. And they had Trump shirts on, and they had Make America Great hats on, and they had buttons pouring off. And they thought it was amazing. And honestly, one of them told me, I truly respect the United States again because of what happened.
Now, when Michelle Obama said that, they tried to turn her into somehow she was anti-American.
Society where we support each other, love each other, and look out for each other. And that means that people coming into our country have to be people that have the potential to love us, not to hate us. For Hillary Clinton to become president, Donald Trump is president of the United States. Oh.
He said, oh.
Amazing. It's amazing. Really amazing.
Donald's like, oh, it's amazing.
And
even he's surprised.
One of the announcers, I have to tell you, from ESPN. Now, they cover football and boxing and everything, right? And he went out, he said, I got to tell you, that event last night, meaning the election results, was better than any fight, any baseball game, any football game. He said that was the most exciting event I've ever seen, and it was politics.
Well, that's as much as I can stomach. I'm sure you feel the same way. The Gloat Tour. Rhonda Wright, well, Nate's not calling you out, and here comes lately James. But I am. We need you to call in, bro, because you're adding conflict to the group, and we didn't have that before you. I'm just saying. He's all good, Rhonda. He's all good. He's all good. More than welcome to share his viewpoint. More than welcome. Call whenever you feel like it. Okay? Dale writes, every time me and my siblings get together, we always have a cap session. And we always have since we were kids. My pops and big brothers was cap champs at our house growing up. Yeah. Yuli writes, prostitution is legal in other places. The women are registered. They pay taxes. They've got health care. It's a job, not a crime. Gwenda writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Did you hear that the DOJ did an overhaul on the criminal justice, but may be dismantled by Trump? They worked too slow. The traffic crazy by Trump being here on yesterday. Have a great weekend. I absolutely will. Dale writes, I think that James Benter is a troll. Fake profile and all. Could be. Could be. Yuli writes, success is the best revenge. Absolutely. Dale writes, I wonder if 1230 is going to go back to their former format now that the election is over. They have done it before, change the station format during an election year and then go back. You noticed that too? Akeem writes, ooh-wee, Pam's positive perspectives. Smile got me feeling some kind of way. James writes to Daryl, Daryl, I think you're a Mitch. I'm not hard to find. Come at me and you'll be sorry. Bang, bang. Oh, boy, here we go. Here we go. James writes, my comments are directed towards the host, and it is a question, not an opinion. Don't get your panties in an uproar, sheep. James wants attention. He's craving attention. You can get some attention, James. You're in the right spot for this, man. We'll give you some attention. And if you want to get some personal attention from me right now, the line's available. 513-873-7134. You will not have to wait a minute. The only length of time, James, that you'll have to wait is the time it takes for you to dial the number. That's it. Dial whenever you feel like it. I'm right here. Say what you like. If you want to just be heard, cool. I'll take a free ride in your thoughts. If you want to debate whatever issues, I'm not sure what they may be, let's do it, brother. Let's do it right here, right now. Let's get it over on a Friday. And that way on Monday, we can come back and be cool. Or, maybe not. We just come back and we're just going to be on different sides of the issue. We'll always be cool. We have no problem. No reason not to be cool. No reason at all. Man. But I'm talking about this young lady from Texas who was bullied because of her weight. And she's got, I'm not sure when this image was taken, but I'm looking at an image of her and she has braces. And there was a time when people used to get teased because they had braces, And I'm looking at her. She looks to be, a reasonably attractive young woman. The whole world's in front of her. Who knows how her life might have turned out. But she ended up committing suicide because people were bullying her. So we've been talking about that for the last 30 minutes or so. I'm getting bullied. I don't get it. I don't see it. But what do you think? Somebody posted in the Friends Who Like Nathan Ivey. Michael Sam says he faced more racism in the LGBT community than black homophobia. I've heard that about homosexuals. I've heard that there's some white homosexuals out there that are very racist toward black people, even though they're homosexuals. So it's kind of like, oh, get away from me. You're black. And it's like, wait a minute. We're gay. Not we in terms of me and them, but we in terms of them and other black gay males that they might discriminate against. It's like, you all are gay. I thought that gay folks are supposed to be more accepting and open and loving and understanding and progressive and enlightening. Or enlightened. I don't know. I believe it, though. I've heard that I've read it and I've heard it from some folks who are living that lifestyle. That's interesting. It's like even among the gay community, people are trying to pick sides and divide themselves along color lines. Ridiculous. Waste of time. Listen, thank you for your time this morning. I really appreciate it. I'll be back in deafer than ever Monday morning at 7 a.m. I do need your support. Whenever you feel inclined to do so, my Patreon page is up and running, and you can contribute on multiple levels. And the way it works is you get different rewards and considerations based upon the level of your support. And if you got any ideas, please send them my way. I'm always open and accessible to you, members of the Chop Shop, listeners. Thank you to the good folks at Superlative Media. They produce the Nathan Ivey Show. They do great work. And a shout out to my friends at SoulPublicRadio.com, the first affiliate of the Nathan Ivey Show, and my new friends, the X Squad affiliates. I appreciate you all. A shout out to my sponsors. The Nathan Ivey Show is sponsored by UC Health. UC Health, Cincinnati's only academic health system. Appreciate you. And I'm going to leave everything up in terms of connecting to my Patreon page. Tell me what you think. You got any ideas? Like, hey, Nate, maybe you should try this for an incentive. Hey, send it my way. Send it my way. Until next time, take care of yourself. Enjoy your weekend. Don't let these Trumpsters get you down. Success is the sweetest revenge. I'll be better than ever, back and deafer than ever, Monday morning at 7 a.m. Until then, again, I say, enjoy your weekend, and I'm out.